when we get hurt, betrayed, cheated, harmed in some way, we close our hearts, many of us. Now, first of all, the very first thing to do is to actually say thank you to yourself for closing your heart, because it really was just trying to protect you. It wasn't trying to make things worse. It was your psyche, your ego, doing what it knows how to do best, which is protect you. It's not always very wise. It doesn't always have great vision. But its ultimate aim is to protect you. Not your divine you, but the small ego you. It's trying to protect you. So just at least give it a thank you for, doing its best with its limited vision to try to keep you from getting hurt again. And then you have to make a very conscious decision. And the decision is, I am willing to take the risk of getting hurt again in order to open my heart. See, what most of us try to do is we try to bargain. Well, I'll open my heart again if you promise I'm not going to get hurt. Okay, God, I know I need to open my heart, but just make sure I don't get hurt again, okay? So as long as we're bargaining, it's not going to work. Because the universe doesn't make promises like that. It's sort of part of the package deal. You're born, you're going to die. You love, you're going to get hurt. Sometimes it's because someone betrays you, hurts you, lies to you. Sometimes it's because they get sick and die. But inherent in loving, unless we are the one who gets sick and die very early in life, at some point we are going to be hurt through our love. And if you haven't been hurt through love, you haven't loved enough. You haven't taken enough risks of loving. Or you're very, very young. And so you have to really make the inner decision that says, I recognize inherent in the gift of love is pain. Sometimes the pain is just anxiety. They're out, they should be home, they're not home, their phone is switched off or out of range, you're worried. Sometimes it's just that. But there's always going to be some level of pain, of distress in human love. Soul-to-soul love doesn't have pain. You love me, fine. You don't love me, fine. You're alive, fine. You're not alive, fine. Because it's soul-to-soul. It has nothing to do with the physical body. Has nothing to do with the karmic dramas. But while we love on the soul level, nonetheless we are walking that experience of love with our human hearts and our human bodies, with our human minds. And there's attachment, there's expectation, there's hope. And where there's attachment and expectation and hope and agenda, eventually we're gonna experience pain. But that's part of the package. And so you need, in order to open your heart, you need to be really clear, okay, God, I'm going to take the risk. Because the only option is to suffocate yourself to death. It's like being in a place that's really polluted, right? I mean, it's like breathing the air in Delhi. So, I mean, you've really got two options. Option one is you say, well, I realize how polluted the air is, I'm not going to breathe. I'm going to protect myself, I'm not going to breathe. Well, that doesn't get you very far because then you just suffocate and die. And so you end up, if you are, for whatever reason, prepared or planning to be in Delhi for any period of time, you make a conscious decision that says, I recognize that I'm breathing this horribly polluted air. Nonetheless, it's much better than the alternative of not breathing and dying. And so I'm prepared to take the risk. I need to breathe. And in the same way in love, you say, I'm going to take the risk. Yeah, I realize there's a good chance that there's going to be pain again. But my only other alternative is to suffocate and die. Because when you don't love, when your heart is closed, you're not living. But you may find that it's easier to begin loving non-humans. And so in the early days of healing your hurt heart, it may be easier. You may find it easier to begin loving a pet, loving a tree, loving a baby. Right? You begin easy. The tree's not going to betray you. The pet's not going to betray you. The baby's not going to betray you. So you begin slow. And then slowly, slowly you work yourself back up to adult humans with free will, with whom you can experience that beautiful connection of love. And the moment you make that decision, you'll be able to do it. It's only your mind keeping you from it. So take the risk. You need it to live.